Tornadoes are some of the most interesting but also dangerous natural events on Earth. Many of us have probably seen videos of storms online but have never seen one in person. Because of this, it's hard to get a good idea of how powerful and scary looking these systems can get. More storms happen in the United States than anywhere else in the world, and all of the biggest ones in history have happened there. So kick back and relax while we go over the history of the 5 biggest storms ever recorded. Number 5. The tornado outbreak of 1925, the devastating Tri-State Tornado. When it comes to tornadoes, 1925 was an important year. This was the year when storms killed the most people in the United States and the second most people in the world. In particular, March 18th is the day when tornadoes killed the most people in a single day anywhere in the world. On this day, a very powerful storm system moved across the US, causing at least 12 major tornadoes. It first hit Missouri, just north of Ellington in Reynolds County. It started as an EF1 or EF2 storm that blew over trees and buildings. It killed its first person when it hit a farmer, but as it moved on, it grew bigger and its winds blew faster. Some people said that for a while, it even looked like 2 funnels. It went through many places with people and even destroyed some schools. In the end, it turned into a huge EF5 tornado with winds of almost 250 miles per hour. This was one of the most powerful storms the world has ever seen. It also moved fast, went a long way, and stayed on the ground for a long time. This tornado was more than 1.6 kilometers wide and moved at an incredible 70 miles per hour or 112 kilometers per hour. It was on the ground for more than 3 hours, traveled almost 219 miles through 3 states, and destroyed more than 164 square miles of land. In the end, 700 people died because of this storm, and another 13,000 were hurt. Number 4. Tornado Alley, the devastating impact of the Oklahoma tornado. Oklahoma is in a place called Tornado Alley, which is one of the most likely places on Earth to have a tornado. It is a place in the middle of the United States where cold air from the Rocky Mountains meets warm, wet air from the Gulf of Mexico. This causes some of the strongest storms on Earth. On May 3rd, 1999, there was pretty bad weather in the city of Oklahoma City. Even though they had seen this before, this cell was a little different. It made a strong tornado that destroyed parts of the south of Oklahoma City. When it first hit the ground, along with many neighborhoods, it was an EF2 tornado, but it quickly got stronger and became an EF4. From then on, its strength went back and forth between an EF2 and an EF5. After being on the ground for more than an hour, it got stronger and became a very strong EF5. They can still do a lot of damage, so just think about how much damage a tornado can do when it lasts for more than an hour. By the time it was over, the tornado had produced some of the fastest sustained wind speeds ever recorded around the world, ranging from 280 to 320 miles per hour, which is 450 to 515 kilometers per hour. The tornado grew to be about 1 mile, which is 1.6 kilometers wide, and moved to 38 miles, which is 61 kilometers during its life. It was reported that 36 people died, and the overall cost of the damage was more than $1 billion. Number 3. Tornado in Joplin, Missouri, a devastating force of nature. A wedge tornado is a type of twister that is wider than the space between the ground and the sky. In other words, it looks like a wall of clouds. This is what happened in Joplin, Missouri on May 22, 2011, when an EF5 tornado hit the city. On that day, the National Weather Service in Springfield, Missouri, issued a tornado warning 17 minutes before the twister hit the ground. When it did, it wasn't clear to the people in its path that a tornado was coming. The tornado lasted 38 minutes, which is about normal for a tornado. However, this one is different from most of the others because it is so big. Even though they had been warned, the people of Joplin were not sure what they were seeing was a tornado. Because of this, many people didn't go to the shelter, which could have saved their lives. It was almost a mile wide and went for about 22 miles. About 1,150 people were hurt by the storm, and 158 people died. It was the most expensive storm to ever hit the United States. Damages and insurance claims added up to about $2.8 billion. Number 2. The unprecedented size and impact of the EF4 tornado. When we think of what makes a tornado dangerous, the speed of the winds is usually the first thing that comes to mind. Some of us might even say that it all depends on where the storm lands. If it hits a rural area, it won't do much damage, but if it's like the Bridge Creek tornado and hits a heavily populated area, that's where the danger is. All of that is true, but don't forget that tornadoes don't have to have winds as strong as an EF5. Tornadoes can grow to be thousands of feet wide and are very dangerous. Even a weak storm of that size can do a lot of damage. On May 22, 2004, there was a strong weather system coming through Nebraska in the afternoon, and it caused several tornadoes. This tornado was more than 2.5 miles long, which is more than 12,000 feet. It is the second largest tornado ever reported according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Most of the city's buildings were totally destroyed, and a coal train was even thrown off its tracks. Even with all of this, only one person died. As the city was warned early enough to take cover, the tornado hit as an EF1, and in its early stages, it only did damage to things like farms and silos. The tornado was on the ground for about 100 minutes and moved 52 miles or 84 kilometers. All of the costs from the storm add up to just over $160 million. Number 1. Halem Tornado. As we just said, the Halem tornado was the second largest one ever reported. It was 2.5 miles wide. It's hard to know how much bigger a tornado can get. In fact, it's not that much bigger, but every foot it's bigger is one more foot it can use to destroy a building, steal animals, or crush a person. On March 31, 2013, a very big and powerful storm system was moving across Oklahoma. It caused a few weak tornadoes in some rural areas that didn't do any damage, but one tornado hit about 8.3 miles southwest of the town of El Reno. Meteorologists were worried right away because this tornado was getting stronger and more dangerous at a frightening rate as it moved across the land. It grew quickly, and mobile weather radar showed that it had winds of up to 302 miles per hour, which at the time were the highest speeds ever seen on Earth. As the tornado crossed US Highway 81, it was a record-breaking 2.6 miles or 4.18 kilometers wide. It went about 16.2 miles or 26 kilometers and was on the ground for a total of about 40 minutes. In the end, 8 people died because of this tornado. 4 of those people were storm chasers. They were the first storm chasers known to have died, and fortunately, the damage was only worth about $40 million. That's it for today. Please like and share our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for regular updates.